in step to get to the ball, but then the pass was slow, wasn't it? And he allowed it to be blocked away. Hand on head time then, because that might have been a tap-in, but it is a corner kick.
Yeah, Real Madrid's first set-piece opportunity. Sergio Ramos up from the back, Cruz with a delivery towards the near post. Boateng's out job two of his teammates to misdirect a header back behind for another corner kick. Didn't quite have his balance right, it would appear, going away from the ball, then had to adjust. Another corner to Toni Kroos and Real Madrid. Lewandowski back there helping out defensively. This time doesn't meet the man at the near post. Modric heads it back out to the corner taker Toni Kroos, but he's offside, and that'll be another attack that breaks down. Not quite happening in the final third so far.
Well, it's been a bit scrappy, hasn't it? And just lazy really from Real Madrid chasing that ball back out when Modric knocked it to Kroos, and four of the players were offside. Bayern Munich are well organised and they know what they're doing with that offside trap. They need to get running at them really, but have they got the quality to do that? Ronaldo and a little bit of Isco, I'm not sure that they're going to run through them tonight. Marcelo needs to be involved going forward, but he's got his hands full really. Muller just keeps taking that space up where that he keeps leaving, and so he doesn't want to stray too far above the halfway line at the minute. But here comes Carvajal now.
Yeah, down the right hand side. I've actually seen a little bit more of him than his opposite number. Well, his teammate on the opposite side of the pitch. Marcelo, who is marauding fullback himself, but hasn't quite been given the chance so far. Strong tackle in the middle of the park has won it back for Bayern Munich, and Thiago with a no-look pass, plays it far too far ahead of Ribery. It's going to go in.
And I think that they've really traded down from Arjen Robben. But like I said, I think it puts them in slightly better shape. They've emptied out their midfield, haven't they, to play goal-forward football, but they've not really managed to get on the front foot so far today.
Isco has it in the centre circle, goes long for Ronaldo, and Ronaldo had the pace to get it behind Hummels, but the pass just too deep from that range, and well spotted by Ulreich, who came out to collect at the edge of his box. Well, Neuer is back fit, closing in on some action. The suggestion being he should be ready for the World Cup. Germany's number one, but not obviously in the squad today. Ulreich steps in. That's having another look at a challenge by Javi Martinez. And, I think he's been penalised. Strong, shall we say, from Thomas Muller on the bar. They can't get the cross. Toni Kroos 25 yards out, squares to Carvajal. Into the box towards Lucas Vázquez. Just showed too much, but it comes back to Carvajal. Driven shot. Easy save in the end. Could have gone anywhere, but Carvajal at least works the keeper.
At least that was a bit of football, wasn't it? I mean, just a nice little give and go at the edge of the area. Ball breaks back kindly because Rafinha had worked it away from the attacker there. The ball broke back, and well, he hit the shot hard enough, didn't he? But I've got to say, for Ulreich there, he made it look commonplace at his near post, was in a good position, and he took it really cleanly.
Okay, Benzema watching on, but only on the bench today. Passing the midpoint of the first half, a fairly cagey affair with very few clear-cut chances. We have at least had a couple. Rafinha trying his luck from 25 yards out, had power, bounced in front of the keeper, but didn't overly work. Keylor Navas before Real hit back. Ronaldo sprung the offside. Rafinha tackle on Lucas Vázquez, came to the edge of the box, driven shot straight at the keeper, made it look easy. So no goals as yet. Keepers are starting to get worked, but it's still 0-0.
Ball crossed by Real Madrid, and well did Ronaldo deflected because they're all hanging around for a corner kick. All right, sorting out his team. Lewandowski there to protect him. He's got a shiner, is Robert Lewandowski. Anyway, Cruz now with the corner kick for Real Madrid to the near post. There must have been a little bit of a shove there. It was almost like a flick on, but it was one of the defenders flicking it on. I think there was the shove there, and the camera lingers on Cristiano Ronaldo, so it was possibly him.
Bayern Munich's fans are getting excited, perhaps trying to rouse their troops. It's not been that sort of game, but we have passed the midpoint. Hopefully John could talk us through a little bit more goalmouth action.
I'd like to, but so far it's not been bad. I mean, obviously it's of a standard, but the two teams cancelling each other out to some degree, and what started off swinging end to end, probably because of the injury to Robben, has changed slightly. Thiago is now running through the middle, where obviously Robben was out right. Thomas Muller is taking up positions out on the right, which he can do, but he hasn't really allowed Marcelo the freedom just yet to go marauding down that left-hand side for him. He's got to be aware that Muller, he's one of those canny players who'll just ghost into a good position unmarked, and he'll need to do something about that. They're just playing out from the back now, Bayern Munich. Yeah, the flags behind the goal of Ulreich are waving for Bayern. All that organised fun. One of the reasons that I'll be hoping anybody else wins, really. And for Real Madrid, all that massive amount of money, I don't know. For me, it's quite a boring fixture, really, at this stage. And you'd scream out for other clubs to be involved, but unfortunately, to break in to the top table and all that is difficult to do, even for teams like PSG who throw billions at it, seemingly. Anyway, here come Real Madrid. There's again a little foul in midfield that Toni Kroos is caught, but nobody makes a big deal out of that. Muller was late on him. I think he's having a laugh and a joke with Kroos. But Carvajal now, good little ball to Vasquez. What's the cross like? It's pretty good, and he just glances off the head of Ronaldo and out. He didn't quite get there, and he's under pressure from Boateng, I think it was. But it's a decent ball, and it's a good half chance, Rob.
Yeah, I think any ball into the middle with Ronaldo there, just the height he gets, or could be a chance for Bayern.
Yeah, here they come. They've got 3 against 2 now. Is it Muller down the right hand side? I think it is. Oh, and he goes for broke. What a shot! He scores! The ball out the right hand side. It was actually Kimmich who'd taken the place of Muller. He's 3 against 2, and instead of going for a cross, deceives the keeper. How did that get through Keylor Navas at his near post? I do not know, but it's 1-0 Bayern Munich.
Goal's gone in at the Allianz Arena, not exactly against the run of play, but it's Bayern who've got it after a couple of half chances for Real Madrid, and it was simple stuff in truth. Running from his own half, Joshua Kimmich sprung the offside trap. He's running through down the right channel. He never once cuts it in field, and from a tight angle, he somehow managed to beat Keylor Navas into the far post, and Real Madrid now find themselves behind. Might have taken a little bit deflection, the shot which wrong-footed the keeper, but still you wouldn't expect him to be beaten from the angle, but he has. It's Bayern Munich 1, Real Madrid 0.
Oh, I mean, he sliced his boot through that, but he's beaten at the near post, and he ends up in the middle of the net. And all I can say for that is that Keylor Navas stood in the wrong slot. Here's an opportunity. Bayern Munich again into the box. They go. Lewandowski screams for a penalty. No chance. I don't think there was anything there really. But anyway, back to the goal. I mean, honestly, Navas again doesn't feel like goal too well. He's a good goalkeeper and a great shot stopper, but there, I think he left the door ajar. He should never be beaten like that on the inside. And I just think he got his positioning wrong. And the other thing about that goal is, we can blame Keylor Navas all we like, but where was Marcelo? I'll tell you where he was. He was stood too far forward. You know, I think it was James who found Kimmich. Again, you've got to look at, you know, Marcelo and who's in front of him. But they can't let Kimmich go any more than they can just let Muller play in a big gap behind Marcelo. You know, so it's silly, really.
Yeah, I mean, the problem, I suppose, for Real is they were just on the attack prior to that. They've obviously not got back into defensive positions. It seemed a little bit too easy, didn't it? Working a simple triangle, and Kimmich has got half the pitch with nobody in front of him. They were trying to get back. I mean, I was thinking that maybe it took a deflection with Varane coming across to try and block a cross, but we saw the replay from behind the goal. It's just a straight shot, and Navas, I don't know what he's doing. I think he's guessing it's going to be a cross. All his weight's going the wrong way. It's made him look silly in the end, and well, Kimmich can't believe his luck. Hopefully a goal though will open up the game and become a little bit more expansive.
Yeah, I mean, that's to be hoped, but you know, also they'll be thinking, well, it's a two-legged affair. You don't want to get too carried away. Tony Kroos wins the ball out the field of play, and now Vasquez is on it, steps inside and tries a weird crossfield ball, terrible, gives it away, and so Bayern Munich now can go forward with Boateng, and he uses that Rolls-Royce engine to beat one. Ball breaks out to the right hand side, another opportunity, and so Bayern Munich then, well, they're waiting for the cavalry to turn up down that right hand side. Here's a play down in back play, so the ball's gone out, and Boateng it is. He just sort of opened up his legs there and showed that he's got a bit of an engine driving forward, but he looked like he got caught late.
Yeah, I don't think there's that much in it. You just wonder if he strained something. He did show a fair bit to Marcelo. In fact, it's Marcelo that's got there ahead of him. It looks like it could be a thigh strain, you know, because Marcelo's definitely got the ball, and it doesn't look as though he's made any contact with Boateng, who then went down. He's now hobbling off. I mean, this could be a real big blow for Bayern, considering they've already lost Ian Robben to injury. But yeah, I mean, it looks like some kind of thigh strain, maybe a hamstring. I don't know. He's off the pitch getting treatment. No indication yet that he can't continue. But I don't think that looks particularly good.
No, it doesn't, does it? I mean, you need to get a bit of luck, don't you? I mean, they've got the goal, but you're stretching it a bit. They've got a very strong squad, and well, just as well, because they've got another player now getting ready to come on, and so it looks like John Boateng now has run his race. These fixtures toward the back end of the season, particularly when they're helter-skelter like this, you know, they do take their toll. Oxlade-Chamberlain, of course, out with the season after last night's game, and bad news for England, and of course Boateng for Germany. Be bad news, although we hear our Bayern Munich on the ball. Don't see much of James, but there he is, and finds Rubry, and then Rafinha rolls the ball into the middle. Lewandowski able to turn, left foot, then just lays it back, and well, now Rubry a chance to run. Navas could have caught that, but he decided to do the little frog leap and punch it. I don't really understand why.
Yeah, and then I think they won a free kick anyway, Real Madrid, but I mean, he's under no pressure here. Who weren't certainly challenging for the ball. The change has been made by Bayern. Boateng's racist run. Nicolas Soule is going to play. Big blow, I think.
Yeah, sure. So ended that for his first touch further than I can kick it. You know, he two dabs at controlling that left-footed to set him up for a right-foot strike. I think he took only one bit too far away from himself, then the other right into the goalkeeper's hands. Oh, dearie me. I'd have fancied myself to score there. Honest to goodness, it was terrible. There's a real lack of quality about this game, Rob.
Yeah, I just wanted to see nerves. I mean, obviously they conceded a goal. I wouldn't say it's out of nothing, but it's not as if they were carved apart by scintillating football. It was just simple stuff that you just wondered where the defence had gone. And then, of course, the keeper's been beaten from a tie angle. He's just dived and punched an effort that really should have caught. Beating the keeper is open to question, but to not even control it, I don't know. Maybe he's thinking about doing something, shooting before he's controlling it. I don't know. It was poor, wasn't it, from the Frenchman? You expect so much better.
Yeah, you do. Just again, he looks to the heavens, and he would have done that a billion times in training, and it would have worked out a billion times better. Usually, he's just such a good player to do something that basically is wrong. Then we see Carvajal boot through James. And well, it's an obvious free kick, and well, Bjorn Kuipers won a card, does he really? He doesn't want to be the man being talked about at the back end of this, but making no decisions for me, I just don't think it's the way to go. You know, he's but yeah, he's leaving himself a bit vulnerable, I think, the referee. Anyway, Marcelo, talking about vulnerable, Marcelo runs down a blind alley, and he has the ball robbed, but they win it back, and Modric now stabs a good ball out to Vasquez, right hand side. He now driving into the box. Rafinha backs off him. Modric was surely, well, beaten to the ball actually at the edge of the area. I thought he might have been upended there, but well, nothing doing, and then the ball just creased off the Real Madrid man.
Jerome Boateng leading a counter-attack. Pulled up, that was then tackled by Marcelo, but he pulled up without any kind of contact. His run has been replaced by Nicolas Soule, some kind of thigh injury, maybe a hamstring, but Bayern still could have held to control the ball, and it just dribbled through to Navas. So Bayern looking slightly more dangerous, but now that's two injury setbacks they've had. They still have the lead though. Bayern 1, Real Madrid 0.
So yeah, Bayern 1, Real Madrid 0. Like, I think that maybe Rubri was so surprised that Thiago passed him the ball that that's what you know, caught him by surprise. All he's done is give the ball away. Anyway, yeah, the nerves may have caught hold of some of the players out there, the enormity of it all. But you'd have suspected that most of these players have seen it all before, really. You know, and then some. So, very nearly ball given away by Matt Hummel. He's been closed down by Modric inside his own box, and he's a whisker away from getting that. Then there's a terrible foul. It looks as if is it Rafinha who's been chopped down. Anyway, Bjorn Kuipers has been doing absolutely nothing. Now, whether Rafinha has really been seriously caught here, I don't know, because I was still reflecting on the fact that the ball was very nearly given away. But between Carvajal and Rafinha, you know, there's so much going on between those two.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much of a problem with it, to be honest.
Well, I think it's Rafinha play acting at that point.
Yeah, I mean, not giving a free kick is, in my opinion, not doing nothing. It's simply you don't think it's a free kick, or not giving any yellow cards. I hate to see yellow cards given for nothing. The problem for Carvajal, I think, free kicks are adding up. That would be a problem for Carvajal.
Yeah, he's accumulating any incidents. He just booted James, and then he just blocks off. I mean, and then Rafinha makes a big meal of it. And it couldn't happen to a nicer bloke than Carvajal, because that's his trick, jumping up in the air and screaming. Rafinha's waiting to come back on. I promise you there's nothing wrong with him. Anyway, so Bayern 1, Real Madrid 0. The game is slightly vexing, I would say. And it's it's not been for the purists necessarily. Anyway, Hummels now on the ball, so almost giving it away just a second ago to MADRID. And then he thumps one right down the pitch, and it's straight, one bounce into the hands of Navas. Was he just giving the ball back there? I really don't understand what he was doing. Anyway, Lewandowski a bit of control of the ball, and then it's nodded out to Thiago left hand side. First touch is a shocker, but he does well to retrieve it, and then he has won his side of throw.
There's a possible handball there, which the referee played an advantage for. That appears to be an obvious advantage. I mean, obviously, if Bayern took a 1-0 at the end of this game, I think they'd be pretty happy with it. Away goals can make a big difference. I mean, not exactly going gung-ho to get the second. I thought Real Madrid set up slightly negatively in the sense that Isco and Vasquez are playing as opposed to Benzema and Bale, or one of those two, or Asensio. I think slightly more negative because Isco's more of a midfield type rather than a forward type. So, I mean, they're away from home, so I can understand it. But I think Bayern, if you asked them 1-0 before the game, they'd snap your hand off.
Here they go again, attack down the right hand side, and the ball into the box. Lewandowski leaves it for Ribery. So an opportunity for Frank Ribery. In the box he goes, he flicks it to the far post. Marcelo heads it out for a corner. Marcelo's screaming there, but I tell you what, he just again, who's picking up Thomas Muller? They even talked about what might happen. If Robben was playing, would he just leave Robben by himself? Honest to goodness, and he's twice have made that mistake. It's an opportunity, and Hummels then with the shot eventually on the volley. In fact, it was Hummels at the far post. Little flick on there. That could easily end up in the back of the net. Really poor defending from Real Madrid, and I think Hummels unmarked there.
Yeah, when he's arriving late, I think it was Lewandowski near post. Now, he's done really well to win the initial header. Because he's under a bit of pressure there, and he might well have been going for goal. The problem for Hummels is it's really high. He's had to jump, but he still can't get over the ball, and he's kind of got it off his shin and just kind of spooned over the bar. But he's got to go down as a decent chance in the context of the game. He's a top player, albeit defender, and we haven't had many clear-cut chances. But first danger we've seen from a set piece, really.
Yeah, the other feature about that is that Varane was marking Hummels the 2 5s, and then after a second Hummels just runs around and he just leaves it, and Varane decides he just gives up on it. I was never a big fan of Pepe, but I couldn't imagine he'd be quite so slack as that. Both these two teams leaving a lot to be desired tonight. Anyway, Frank Ribery on the ball now, 1-0 Bayern. They're trying to make it 2. He'd got Rafinha on the overlap. Rafinha now with the cross into the box, and an opportunity. A shot comes in. I think that's from Muller, and it's almost blocked at source. That's out for a corner kick, but again, he's a ghost, isn't he, Thomas Muller? And that's what he's good at, just drifting into areas and picking up the ball. But unfortunately for him, he found Ramos, and that was blocked away. Corner kick comes in, and now an opportunity was at Varane with the header, and eventually Navas comes and he claims it off the top of Muller's head.
Yeah, half chances again. I mean, simple stuff really. Rafinha there was busting a gut to get outside Ribery, and I thought Ribery really should have passed it, but he stayed up there in support. Nobody was bothered about Rafinha. A little backhill from Ribery, and he's got all the time to cross it. I think it's a tough chance for a Mullet. He certainly made a sweet contact with the ball. Not convinced it was necessarily on target or that Ramos knew anything about it, but it was safe as far as Real Madrid are concerned. And I thought they had slightly the better of the play, but I think that's turned in the last 10 minutes or so, perhaps since the goal really, because Real Madrid, well, I'm trying to remember the shot they last had. They're struggling in the final third. I mean, Ronaldo's barely kicked the ball.
Yeah, they need to find Ronaldo, don't they? As now Marcelo makes some ground. He's at the edge of the area. That's a great ball into the box, an opportunity for Isco, but he runs into a red wall there. And then the ball's forced to go backwards. Bayern Munich in their all black kit tonight, as we see. Great crossfield ball. Carvajal heads it in. He bounces in the box. Marcelo! What a strike! Oh, it's one apiece. Left foot thunderbolt. Talk about a sweet hit that. It's an absolute beauty. And they're back in the game.
Almost on the stroke of half-time, Real Madrid have got themselves back in. It's their first chance for a while, and really, after Bayern have missed 2 or 3 pretty good opportunities to increase their advantage. The ball was played in the box from the left-hand side.